let's get after it. I had white socks on with black breeches, like a donkey eating some briars, you know. We're just all compatibating, man. We're just all together, like, you know, we just like compatibate, like a bonfire. I said, no, it's a bonfire. They said, no, it's a bonfire. I said, no, it's a bonfire, because we're bonded.
Boy, if this is the right distance.
It is, Bill. It is.
What a spectacular golf shot by Boo Weekley.
Listen to that. Is that great?
Me and Heath Slocum got to play the World Cup. You know, that was the first time I got to ever represent the United States in any competition. And we got to go and play in China. Dude, after I got a taste of that, I told Heath, I said, I'm going to try everything I can. This is my goal, is I'm going to try to make it to the Ryder Cup or the President's Cup. And all of a sudden, Paul Azinger came to us, said, I think it was at the PGA, somewhere was in Detroit or something like that. And he says, hey, you're on the bubble of making the team. If you can finish inside like the top 20 or something like that. I can't remember exactly the number, but he actually sat down and talked to me and Chad and a couple of others and told us, you know, hey, if you can do this, then you'll make the team. And when he said that, I made it my goal at the beginning of that week, of that tournament, that, all right, we're gonna get after them this week. And luckily I finished, and I think I finished like 18th or 15th, something like that. And then Paul told me, he says, hey, I think I'm gonna pick you as a team. You think you can handle it? And I said, I don't know if I can handle it, but I'll be ready. I'm up for the challenge.
The United States of America team represented by JB Holmes and Boo Weekley.
We can understand each other, language-wise, because we both kind of rednecks. But no, it was fun playing with JB, because I mean, at that time he was bombing too. You know, I mean, he was probably the longest guy I've ever played with that could actually golf his ball, you know, day in and day out. But, you know, to pull for him and let him go, and, you know, like we would discuss like certain shots, you know, certain tee balls, and just, you know, being able to do certain things together. And, you know, and I could talk him off the ledge, or he could talk me off the ledge. That was one thing that we could do with each other, and we both understood, you know, what our goals were. Because, you know, when we're playing together, we was kind of like, all right, you need to hit a fairway. I missed the fairway here. You need to hit the fairway. We need somebody to be, you know, where we can do something. And so it was pretty simple, because we actually had a good communication together, and we were friends. When you pull up there and you felt the energy, total insert of energy that you have in your system, that, you know, you got people that's pulling for you. Even if you hit a bad shot, they're over, all right, now we're gonna get this up and down. Now these are the fans, you know, and the fans are pulling for you so hard. And being able to play in the South, you know, I'm a Southern boy myself, and I mean, it was an awesome feeling knowing that, you know, we are in the South. I had probably 25 or 30 of my buddies that came up to come and watch me play, and, you know, and they're out there hooting and hollering, and there was so much there was no way that we were gonna lose. It was like all the Americans were pulling for us so hard that there was no way that we could lose this. To be able to play and feel that emotion and feel everything that was going on, it was hard not to let it out. Because, I mean, the fans want to see it. Because then if you got the fans pumped, then they hear the next roar down there. They let, you know, it's like you let all your partners, your teammates know that, okay, our team's doing this, our team's up on this, our team, you know what I mean? It's like there was so much emotion running for everybody. Not just the players, but for the fans too. To tee it up and play in a Ryder Cup, yeah, I was nervous, but I mean, I have 11 other guys with me. If I fail a little bit, they're gonna pick me up. And that was the way I felt. I mean, that's the way our whole team felt. Brought together as a family. It was just a fun atmosphere, man. I mean, it's by far the greatest event I've ever played in golf. I mean, it still gives me goosebumps even thinking about it.
Gave him and JB Holmes a 2-up lead. And now Boo Weekley from the bunker.
Tough shot, really tough. Handles it well. Does he ever? That is a golf shot there, folks.
Wow, that was a golf shot. I've holed out a bunch of bunker shots, you know, out of the fairway and stuff like that, but I can't go remember back that far. I mean, that was a good one, though.
And Boo Weekley's third shot from this front green side bunker. His opponent, Oliver Wilson, in the same bunker in 3. Boo Wilson for eagle, and too high.
Out of the fairway, when we hit that second shot into there, and my caddy Joe at the time was like, hey, I want you to fire this over on the far right side. We got plenty of room to work with. And I said, hey man, I'm just gonna aim it at that bunker. I said, we're hitting bunker shots. We've been practicing bunker shots. We're feeling good with them right now. And so he's like, all right, let's fire it in that bunker, then let's get after it. And I said, all right. So I fired in the bunker there and get up there, and I drew a perfect line. And then as we were walking around up on the green, and we kind of like, which you didn't show, when I was kind of like pointed my club down, I said, if I can land it about right here, because we done rolled the balls on the green, we got kind of how the slope was going to turn and everything. And I said, if I can land it inside like this old cup hole right in this little area right here, I said, it'll be close to going in. And he goes, well, show me something there, Todd, and I landed it right on that spot. And as you can see, as I'm walking up out of that bunker there, I kind of like, all right, I landed it right where I wanted. Now it's just, if it just releases out like it should, it'd be perfect. And it was perfect.
After he hit his tee shot, look at Boo Weekley, says, I'm getting on my horse here in horse country, and I'm riding it down the first fairway.
Yeah, I got in a little trouble on that one. Well, first thing, the fashion police came after me because I had white socks on with black breeches. But my granddad always told me to wear, long socks. I always wore long socks as a kid, and it was just something that we've always done because of sweat going into your shoes and stuff like that. And then if you had an accident, you can always cut your socks off and use it in the bushes. That all came about, we was in the team room and we was leaving, and that was like, I want to say it was like on a Tuesday or Wednesday or whenever. It was early in the week. And when we left our team room after a little meeting, we were going down the hall and I was going back to my room, and we had like another room off to the side where it had our drinks and some food and stuff like that, snacks and stuff, so we take back to our room. And I pulled off in there, and two of the officers were sitting in there, and I walked in, I said, what are y'all doing? Nothing, Boo, what are you doing? I said, nothing, I come to steal some beers. Like that right there, just playing around. They was like, well, there ain't none in here. I said, well, I know they ain't. They're all in our room back there, just joking around with them. By that time, they were watching TV, and they was like, oh, Happy Gilmore's on. I said, yeah, we're watching golf. We're watching, seeing how, how funny this is and this and that. And I said, yeah, I'm going to do that right there. And they said, do what? I said, watch, you'll see. So I sat there on the edge of the bed, and they were in their chairs, and we watched a little bit of TV, and all of a sudden, he went to doing his dance, the bull ride, and all of a sudden I said, I'm going to do that. And they said, no, you're not. I said, oh, yeah, I am. If I can remember to do it, I will do it. Well, of course, we played Friday, Saturday, whatever, and I didn't remember it. And then all of a sudden, it was kind of like when I got on the tee box, and which it don't show, it just shows me, doing it, but I got a picture at the house that I'm taking my practice swings, and all of a sudden it hits me that, oh, I need to do the bull ride right here. This would be an awesome opportunity right here. So when I'm taking my practice swings, you can see I had a big old grin, just like, like a donkey eating some briars, and I was like, God, dog. So then all of a sudden, as soon as I hit it, like I was making sure I got it over that tree. It's kind of like right on the corner there, and if I can get it over that tree, I'm gonna do it. So that's why I kind of stood there when I was picking my tee up, making sure it got over the edge of that tree, because I hit it just a little low, and as soon as it clipped the top of that tree over there, I was like, all right, I'm on now. So I started riding it down the fairway.
I want to talk about your pod a little bit, the redneck pod. You, JB Holmes, Kenny Perry, and then Jim Furyk, who might have been a little bit on the outside of the redneck element, but that was your pod. And famously, you guys had some shirts with a word that you came up with, Compatibate.
Compatibate. I don't know, we was doing a press conference and something like that, and I don't know, I was talking about some dogs and this and that and the other that we run down at the house, and then somehow I just said, we're just all compatibate, man. We're just all together, like, we just like compatibate, like a bonfire. Like people say, a bonfire. I said, no, it's a bonfire. They said, no, it's a bonfire. I said, no, it's a bonfire, because we're bonded. We're all around a fire, everybody that's around that fire, we're bonded. Everybody's talking to somebody, so it's kind of the same thing with Compatibate. We're all out there Compatibate.
Coming over a bit of a little drop right there. Down the hill it goes. Looks pretty good.
Is he going to get the crowd going?
For birdie.
It was a very, very awesome experience, and I'm very lucky to be a part of that team. I'd say the Ryder Cup by far is the greatest adventure that I had in the golf. I got there because I want to play for my country. That was my goal, was to play for my country. Yeah, the camaraderie that I got to build with the guys, you know, I mean, got a lot closer with them and, you know, friends with them. Still, we can still relate back and laugh and talk about it. You know, sometimes some of the stuff will come up, you know, while we're eating lunch and laugh about it. And I mean, like I said, it still gives me, like when you bring it up, it gives me chills. My legs are shaking now just thinking about it, you know. I mean, it's by far the greatest feat to be able to do. Be a part of something that only a handful get to do, you know, in their lifetime. And it's, like I said, it's the greatest thing to be able to represent your country, man. It's unreal. And I hope when they go over there and play this year, I hope they skin them up, just like we skin them up. Enjoy everything that's fitting to happen, because, you know, it's a once in a lifetime to giddy up and go. And it ain't about you. It's about the USA. It's about who you play for. It ain't just you. You're playing for your whole country.